In 2014, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum spent $3 million on one horse. Now that might sound insane to us, but for him, it was just another day out shopping. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at some of the stupidly expensive things the Prince of Dubai owns. And, well, let's just say this man's taste knows no bounds. When it comes to rich people, the first thing they usually want to buy with their copious amounts of wealth is a fleet of amazing cars. While the prince has no shortage of cars, and we'll get into that a little later in the video, this man is the prince of thinking outside the box. So he decided to get a whole fleet of amphibious cars instead. Yep, cars that can zoom around on land and on the water. Californian automaker Watercar makes some of the most iconic amphibious vehicles in the world right now. And when Faza heard of that, he had to be one of the first ones to own some of them. His favorite one is Python, a $150,000 car that can reach speeds of 80 miles per hour on land and 45 miles per hour on water. So the prince can come cruising in from the beach and just keep going. It's one of the craziest sights you'll ever see. But the prince isn't just going to have other people see him be cool, he brings them into the fold too. So naturally, he didn't just get one of these cars, he got 6, bringing up the total he spent on just this excursion alone to $800,000. If you ever think about living the life, one of the main things that are on the list is being able to fly around the world and stay at the best hotels. But as we've glossed over before, the prince isn't just about having access to great hotels, it's about owning the hotels people could only wish to have one night in. That's why this guy also owns the Hotel Jumeirah Zabil Saray, one of the most luxurious hotels in Dubai, the Palm Jumeirah. While the prince doesn't personally own the hotel, it's under the ownership of Zabil Investments, which is his private investment company. This isn't an average hotel. It's a $12 billion hotel where the prince can go stay whenever he wants. Not only him, but any of his guests too. Now, that's a quality home away from home experience. Dubai is full of desert lands where you can take jeeps and have a full day of adventure. But when you're a prince, you turn it up a notch. Instead of jeeps or trucks, you'd go for something bigger and more impactful. Something like a tank. Yeah, you heard that right. Prince Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum doesn't just travel through the safari in an average car, he's got a fleet of rickshaw tanks. These are some of the best tanks that the US military has bought, so when it comes to power, they're unstoppable. So the prince did what a prince would do. He bought an entire fleet of them, fully customized too. Each of these tanks costs around $500,000. With that, every add-on that he requested only made the initial price multiple times higher. But hey, you can't really put a price on fun, can you? The Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel in Vancouver is a hotel with a one-of-a-kind view, one that people pay top dollar for to stay in for the night alone. And if you're on the richer side, maybe you can squeeze in a weekend here, but when you're the Prince of Dubai, things are a little different. You don't just stay here, you make it another home base, just in case you're ever in the neighborhood. So, Faza dropped a crazy $25 million on this hotel. With it, he bought 3 penthouse floors in their entirety. The top floor penthouse is the most expensive condo that's ever been built, which just aligns with the prince's taste perfectly. Dubai and camels just go hand in hand. There are thousands of camels throughout Dubai, especially if you go out to the desert, so it would make sense for the prince to have one too. If you haven't caught on to the pattern so far, the Prince of Dubai doesn't settle for just anything. He's got to have the best of everything. So it makes sense why he'd want the absolute best in terms of camels, too. The camel he liked wasn't just any camel. It was the most beautiful one in 17,000. It quite literally won a beauty contest, so it had all the validation it needed. But when the prince swooped in to make things official, he paid a whopping $2.7 million for this camel. Because of how well the original owner had taken care of the camel, Faza even made sure he got an additional $666,000 too, just as a little thank you for bringing up the most beautiful camel the prince has ever laid his eyes on. While the average person dreams about the day they may one day get to travel in a private jet, Prince Hamdan is living the motto, go big or go home. His aim isn't to travel in private jets, those are like his little scooters for him. And his father, Sheikh Mohammed ibn Rashad al Maktoum, feels the same exact way. So what do a father and son, who basically have all the money in the world and a desire to travel, do in a situation like this? They buy their own planes. These aren't little private jets or small planes. These are Boeing 787-10 Dreamliners. To put into perspective why this is such a big deal, each of these planes spans 224 feet. But would that be enough for a prince and a king? Not quite. So, they bought 40 of them and then put them through an insane customization process. With each of these planes costing $306 million on their own, this deal ended up making its way to a whopping $15 billion. When you're the Prince of Dubai, you don't really need to limit yourself to Dubai. You can expand to all of the corners of the world. So what's better than flipping the Dubai scenery entirely and setting roots somewhere totally different? That's what Sheikh Hamdan thought too when he secured a 63,000-acre estate in Scotland. This is no average estate either. It's one that the Prince of Scotland previously owned, so it's already royal grounds. But since there was nothing built on it already, it gave Sheikh Hamdan a lot of freedom in terms of planning how to put this land to good use. The estate would first have the prince's summer home built on it. But along with that, there'll be a 14-bedroom hunting lodge too. If there's one thing Prince Hamdan loves to collect, it's cars. Supercars, to be exact. He started off buying supercars as soon as he was of age to drive, and, well, he never really stopped on that front. So far, his impressive fleet of cars includes some of the most powerful ones in the world. His favorites are the Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, which he snagged for $4.5 million, the first ever McLaren P1 for $1.3 million, the black Ferrari LaFerrari for almost $7 million, and the Aston Martin 177 for $1.9 million. Each of these vehicles is extremely powerful and expensive, but that's what makes them all worthy of being in the prince's driveway. A lot of people don't know this, but Prince Hamdan is actually a very skilled athlete too. One of the sports he's extremely good at is horse riding, and when you're the Prince of Dubai, you've got to have the best of the best. In 2014, Prince Hamdan dropped a mighty $3 million on a colt with winning bloodlines, deeming it fit for a prince. This horse in particular helped him win several races in the past couple of years. But the prince can't just have one good horse, can he? Nope. That's why he's constantly buying even more horses to build a horse army. 2 of his second and third most expensive horses cost $1.8 million each, bringing the overall total of just these 3 to $6.5 million. That's even more than his Lamborghini Veneno Roadster. And on that note, we'll wrap up today's video. If you had access to as many billions as Faza, how would you spend it? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.